Okay, and we're live. I am so nervous for this.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
Like the final fight.
yeah. We have a horrible fight going like happening right now. But yeah. Anyways, welcome back to hopefully the final part of the Pikachu solo one. We have come a long way. And yeah, Cheddar is at level 98 because I grinded.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got two rare candies left, so we can take him up to level 100.
Yeah, and you joined just in time, Link. For that.
Oh,
And
wow! I didn't notice a link in came in.
yeah, you just popped in now. Level 100 Pikachu.
Level 100, baby, and
That's more speed.
yeah, that's a lot of speed, but yeah, and a two on a +2 on special attack. That might be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, this is the final battle.
I am so nervous for this. Okay, so before I start, so I need to change my moveset too. I need Grass Knot because I replaced Grass Knot for Return to Grind Better.
Definitely the size of a toad. It's gonna need it.
Yeah,
Need the size of a toad.
it's the size of a toad, yes. So I'm gonna give a return for Grass Knot and Brick Break in place of Dig.
Sounds good. The Buffon is extremely bulky.
Yeah, it's actually scary how bulky it is, but
Yeah, it's interesting because Buffalon's one of those Pokemon where like, I think it often gets passed over because it's not like stellar in some ways. It has good attack, right? Obviously, right? But
yeah.
because of that, I think it's almost easy to forget that. Sure, if a Pokemon like that obviously has terrible special attack and doesn't have good speed, and its attack is decent but not like insane, then you know the rest of the stats are gonna go into bulk, you know.
Yeah, it was actually a point in the Pokemon Adventures manga when all the battles end, and he starts off with Buffalant using Head Charge on his Darmanitan, and basically N says to him, if you care about your Pokemon, you wouldn't make it use that move. And then Aldo says, so you know about Head Charger's recoil. Well, it's okay. Since Buffalant Afro is so thick that it minimizes the recoil, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and that actually explains why it's just double edged with less recoil. Because,
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
So yeah, we got more attack now. So hopefully that'll work out. Also, one thing I want to point out, Head Charge is actually called Afro Break in Japanese.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's just funny, and it make it, and with the fact that it's Afro Break, it makes wait. Never mind. I forgot to like replace my item. You know what? We're doing this at a disadvantage. Let's go.
Okay, what items do you have?
I have the lucky egg on.
Oh, lucky egg. Oh, right, nice. The lucky egg. It's the egg of luck. That's what we're
Yes, we're doing this. God dang! And I forgot to turn yeah.
So good, so good. Yeah, it's funny because I was just watching it. Oh my god. Alright, full restore. And then he's gonna do the thing next turn, is he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we lost this, but okay. I need to know. Can Brick Break take out Buffalant? I need to absolutely know.
Without expert, well, I don't think so. But let's see.
Oh! Alright. Ugh.
I actually thought it hit 0.
Me too. Okay.
1 HP.
Okay, a couple of things. One, hold on. What's Coffer Grigas's special attack to no, special defense to defense ratio? Because I need to know. If it's the same, then I have a plan.
I think its defense is higher than its special. Yeah, okay. So HP 58, defense 145.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's a problem. That's quite the problem.
It's about like just under 40% bulk. Yeah.
Yeah. For one thing, because I was thinking if I put an expert belt, with Pikachu, then you know I'll definitely be able to take him out. And I saw that with Thunderbolts, and since I almost took it out, I could like take it out with Wild Charge instead. But yeah, that's.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I remember that I was thinking about that because I was just like, oh well, Wild Charge might do slightly more, but
Not enough,
like,
yeah.
massively different because of the Fizz Death, yeah. But what's interesting about that is, I mean, maybe you could depends on how you look at it, how well the Buffalon took it. You could think, oh well, it doesn't kill, that kind of sucks. But honestly, that was better than I expected. To me, that's a good sign. Cause,
Yes.
It could be a really good role. Who knows? Maybe we should.
Maybe we could like get a better roll and he can actually take it out.
Yeah, 'cause that actually surprised me personally.
So yeah, no, we're doing Pecha Berry. We're doing Pecha Berry strats.
Very yeah. Honestly, he could miss too. It's
but like 90 accuracy, like it's better to bank on the Pecha Berry, yeah. So first up we're gonna Grass Knot.
Yeah. Oh, the animation's still off, right?
Oh my god, why do I keep forgetting about that?
Nah, I should have reminded you. Alright,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Okay, Thunderbolt.
Do you say Pecha or is it Pecha?
It's Pecha or Pecha, who knows? It's based on Peach. Yeah.
Pecha out the Pecha makes sense. You know, I used to always say, growing up, for the longest time, Pekka.
Huh. Oh my god, that was actually a good roll. God dang.
Damn, okay, that was a good roll. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh my god, Hold on. Did you see that? Reckless turned into Mummy, meaning that the head charge actually does more than Earthquake. Head charge does more than Earthquake because yeah. That's a bad sign.
Nice. Well, actually no, because if it can go for Earthquake is the point. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. The thing is, like, it's a weird thing where. Are you?
Man.
I hate this so much. Okay.
Hydreigon and Buffalont? I guess their bulk is maybe similar. Think about it, but Hydreigon's probably slightly frailer. Hydreigon is like.
It is slightly frailer, yes, but yeah.
Yeah, it is frailer, but it is deceptively bulky at the same time. Like in competitive, like you just like somewhat of like a support Hydreigon almost. Yeah, like a 92 base HP, 90 base defense, 90 space special defense. So it's almost it's very similar to Buffalon because Buffalon is 95, 95, 95. I can't think what ever says like.
Yeah. Okay. That makes this really hard for me.
I do think that means that Hydreigon. I can't speak for Buffalon, but if Buffalon could get to 1 HP like that, and Hydreigon is slightly frailer, I'm venturing to guess the average roll kills Hydreigon.
Yeah, definitely.
Hello, Santos.
Oh hey. Hey. I'm streaming Pokemon White Pikachu solo run on Twitch right now.
Yeah.
So
the
yeah.
Final battle.
It is the final battle, and I am not being particularly good at it. You know.
We're getting really like super close.
Yeah, we're getting super close. Okay. First off, I'm gonna give it back expert belt, and I'm gonna try with a wild charge.
All right.
I need to try.
What are you gonna do when Season's toxic?
Yeah, that's the thing. We tried Pecha Berry, but yeah, it actually worked really well. It's just that Yeah, I got really close. Buffalant and Hydreigon unfortunately actually survived hits for me, so I need to use Expert Belt.
Yeah, Buffalon the first time lived on 1 HP, and Hydreigon the last time around lived on 1 HP.
Yeah. If we can take Cofagrigus out in one shot with Wild Charge, we definitely win this.
Well, we'll see how it goes. It could maybe a high roll or animate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Shadow. Oh, Shadow Ball. Nice. Like they've done that sometimes.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
All right. Thunderbolt.
I keep forgetting to turn on animations. Like if I lose this again, I need to remember to turn on animations, but
I forgot to remind.
It's okay. Okay, so Brick Break. Moment of Truth. This one shots, obviously. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Down.
Seismic Toad.
Seismic Toad, Grass Knot.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely one shots. Okay.
Green left.
Oh my god, that'd be torture. But then again,
Here we go.
yeah, Brick Break, one shots. Come on, one shot. Yeah, see?
Okay.
Because Expert Belt, yeah.
We're down.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. His Pokemon is Bisharp.
Okay, it doesn't even go for Sucker Punch if it even has it.
I doubt it even has it.
Sorry, Bishop.
I didn't need that crit, but okay. Okay, let's do this. Brick Break, come on. Flamethrower.
Oh.
Oh
Oh my god, that was great. That is a great.
Yeah.
Guys, we got absolutely lucky there.
That was really
Alright.
close.
That was.
That he doesn't use full restore.
I don't even have to pray. Like even if he uses full restore, there's no way he can win now. This is, oh my god. All it took was for there's a Cofagrigus to not use Toxic.
Yeah, I think that's it.
This is it, guys. This is it. This has been a long journey, but now Cheddar will now become the Pikachu that saved the Unova region from Team Plasma. One last move, Brick Break.
It was quick call. Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't use Thunderbolt.
I kind of can't. I want to. If I could, I would.
Wild charge.
You know I can't do that.
Yeah.
What? I created Team Plasma with my own hands. I'm absolutely perfect. I am perfection. I am the perfect ruler of a perfect new world. Now, Anne, do you still think Pokemon and people should be separated? Mwahaha! Oh look, it's his trader move. Since I couldn't become the hero and attain the legendary Pokemon myself, I prepared someone for that purpose. N. He's nothing more than a freak without a human heart. Do you think you're going to get at you to a war person like that? Alder, it's so valuable time to listening to him ramble on. He's the one without a human heart. You're right, he's truly pitiful. And I'm sure you have much to think about. I know you were not pursuing the truth because of Gets's manipulation, but because your heart was truly inspired. That is why you were able to meet the legendary Pokemon. But I have no right to be the hero. Is that so? What you and the legendary Pokemon are going to do from now on, that's important, wouldn't you say? Acting like you understand. Up till now, we've been fighting each other over our beliefs. Yet, despite that, why? And even if we don't understand each other, that's not a reason to reject each other. There are two sides to any argument. Is there one point of view that has all the answers? Give it some thought.
Yeah, too hard to think.
Too hard to think, yeah. I want to talk to you about something.
Do the top screen? Or we are on the top screen.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The little like thingamajig.
And then at the end of the pathway, Red shows up and challenges you.
That'd be sick, but that'd be sick. Unfortunately, in this game, it's Cynthia, which I'm okay with, but it's about when I first met you in Accumula Town. I was shocked when I heard what your Pokemon was saying. I was shocked because that Pokemon said it liked you. It said it wanted to be with you.
It literally just. It was only like 1 hour, and the Pokemon wants to be with you.
Like forever and ever. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't believe there were people that like Pokemon that like people, because up until that moment, I'd never known a Pokemon like that. The longer my journey continued, the more unsure I became. All I kept meeting were Pokemon and people who communicate with one another and help one another. That was why I needed to confirm my beliefs by battling with you. I wanted to confront you hero to hero. I needed that more than anything.
Yeah, it just implies like he's been really, really sheltered until like just before the game started.
Yeah, very, very much gaslit into thinking that that is the one truth there is.
Yeah.
There's no way a person like me, someone who understands only Pokemon, no. Actually, I didn't even understand them either. No way could I measure up to you, who had met so many Pokemon and who were surrounded by friends. Friends, the champion has forgiven me, and what I should do now, something I'll have to decide for myself. No, he's gonna go with him. Yeah, Mary.
Yeah.
Dream your dream, then pursue the ideals that make that dream a reality, and someday you will achieve all that you've dreamed of. Well then, farewell. And that was Pokemon White version. Yeah, literally. Okay, how long have you been playing? That was barely. That was like 15 minutes. Oh my god, that was.
Finally over.
I know. That actually feels great. That feels great. That feels awesome. Cofagrigus drew the match.
Yep. Honestly, Pikachu put the pressure on Cofagrigus. You know, after those battles, like it got really tired out mentally,
Yeah.
and Pikachu got the better of it.
The only one that was actually a threat was Electros because of the freaking critical hit.
Yeah, and even then, the fact that it did so little, not that it did so little, but like it would have done a lot less without the crit. It just makes you wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, because you did face an Electro early on, like that a trainer had. Granted, it was a lower level.
Yeah. And like the crunch did so little.
It did like 39 HP or something crazy like that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
It's gonna be stronger, but still.
Yeah, it gets us is definitely stronger, but but yeah, that was Pokemon White, and yeah, I gotta say, this just reaffirms my love for Pokemon White. Pokemon Black and White rather. Like okay, so this is something like really interesting to talk about. So we know that Ruby and Sapphire kind of like had also a dichotomy theme with Ruby, Team Magma being the villains, while Team Aqua as the villain in Sapphire. And the other version kind of portrays the team that's not evil as the right ones. So it kind of gets conflicting messages until like Pokemon Emerald kind of stepped in and said, yeah, no, they're both wrong. Yeah.
In Ruby and Sapphire, almost like it is just as you said.
Yeah.
Okay? At the same time, it's almost like I guess their way of like fitting the other team into the story is almost like in opposition to the other team.
Yeah.
Rather than just like it makes you wonder like, oh, what are they on their own? What are they actually
Yeah.
like on their own? Rather
Yeah.
than just being opposition, you know?
Yeah, like it's a
one side of the story.
Yeah.
yeah. With that said, Pokemon Black and White does the dichotomy theme a lot better in my opinion. Because in Pokemon Black you pursue the trainer you play as pursues the truth while N pursues ideals, and vice versa in Pokemon White. But it's not as jarring of a transition as in Ruby and Sapphire. Because
Right, yeah.
because like the games show like do a good job at showing that both sides have a point to them. And they're not trying to say that either is wrong either, like Ruby and Sapphire. But I mean, Pokemon Black and White, they portray both truth and ideals as equals, and we should accept different perspectives, because there's not one absolute thing. An ideal could be superior. A certain ideal could be superior to a truth, or vice versa. But the matter is they're always changing. And that's why and that's why we have to learn to accept all of them. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like En said as well. Like after he sort of thought about it after I think your battle with him, he was like, oh, different ideas in the world, create a chemical reaction. It's sort of like with those differing like ideas that we have what we have.
Yeah, and
I
as
disagree. I'm always right there wrong.
Yeah. And as a very analytical character, where he has a love for absolute chemical reactions and whatnot, and him acknowledging something like that through his own words, really does show that even before we fight him, even before we capture either Zekrom or Reshiram, he truly has changed his outlook, even if he doesn't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
So
I do like that as well.
yeah.
I find this like Black and White in a couple ways, because it has more like story and character focus rather compared to the average game. Like I kind of noticed with a lot of Pokemon games, actually not even just the older ones, well, not even just the ones before Gen 5, but just in general, is like you play the main character and the main character does his thing and then plays his role in the story.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like no matter the plot is, you are just that.
I'd rather say that I rather say that the problem with that is the fact that it's always melodrama. It's always a very clear, distinct for like not for lack of a better term, for a very good term. It's always very distinctly black and white morality. Like we have Team Rocket, Team Galactic, Team Aqua and Magma, to a certain extent, where they're like the villainous team is always portrayed as evil, and there is never a single doubt in anyone's mind that anybody could be otherwise. Here, what we do get at that villain with Ghetsis, and as a character himself, really does amplify that. Yes, there are evil people in this world, but sometimes the people you are in opposition to the most are just the people who are the opposite of you, not necessarily evil.
For sure. The other thing I was just...
Yeah. So sorry, you go.
Oh. Okay, I was just gonna say, and the other thing was that so like in these games, like you sort of play the role like the hero, and while I love all the other games as well. First, like your explore your adventure in Kanto is kind of just like you do your thing, but like at the end of the day you're just a kid and you played your role in the story and you move on. And maybe in Gen 2 they go, oh, there was this one trainer who kind of like drove out Team Rocket and stuff like that, and that's cool and all, but besides that, you just kind of like this kid going through his adventure. And I do like how Black and White was able to make you feel more like a stronger role in the story, as like a particular role rather than just like some who's going around doing this thing. Like even when you stop like Cyrus from creating a new universe, you just go back to your Pokemon League challenge and move on like nothing's ever happened,
Yeah.
I like how this game was able to do that.
It's like you stopped you stopped Cyrus. You either defeated or caught Giratina, or ran away from it, because that actually works. And then you're just thinking, I wonder if that power outage in Sunny Shore City has been dealt with. Like literally, that is like yeah.
And instead, in this game, like what happened was so like drastic that like you didn't even get to battle the champion. Like,
Yeah.
the game ended and didn't get to battle the champion yet because of course that made sense. Like
Yeah.
consider what just happened, you know?
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah, and this like tying this up with like tying the story with the Pokemon League, it's a really genius move. I definitely see why they haven't really tried anything like this again. Because because in spite of it being a really good really good way of storytelling, it like if you do it more than once, the value is kind of lost to you, and also you need like you do need to make a good backdrop like this in order to make it work again.
And so I guess to be fair, like in some way, a lot of people are playing Pokemon often come to play like for the typical experience.
Yeah, and like that's not a bad thing because that's not a bad thing because you know ever since Gen 1 the series has always exemplified fun, and you know people comfort and that's a huge reason of why I love the Alola games. I think Alola is my favorite region because it's the region that exemplifies the most fun in Pokemon. But I think
And they tried something different.
yeah. But with Black and White, it definitely is a great natural evolution for the story aspect of Pokemon and whether or not Pokemon will return to the style to the style of you know story writing, the style of games, whatnot. We should just be glad that it happened, and yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It happened. It happened. We got a taste of what Pokemon could be, even if it's not taking that path now. That path now. It's doing something different. It's still good in its own way, but at the very least, we've seen something that a lot of people will say to be peak storytelling within Pokemon. Yeah. I know that a lot of people are very negative about this. Like, oh, you know, Gen 5 was Pokemon will never be as good again. And I'm just like, okay, sure. Like, you know, maybe no games will top Black and White for you. That's fine. But every Pokemon game is good in its own way. Like each Pokemon game exemplifies. Each Pokemon generation exemplifies something different, and you know we kind of just have to accept that. Yeah. Like for like starting from Gen 1, Gen 1 to me exemplifies simplicity. Gen 2 exemplified maturity. Not more so like growing up, but like a maturity in a sense of how you and again a very good term evolved into the person you are after you know quite some time.
And other characters that have like changed a little bit and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, I mean Misty went on a date in the Johto game, so Hoenn exemplifies homeliness to me. Because of its very accommodating nature-based region.
I think of its town music too, like the very first town. It just has that vibe, you know.
Yeah. You might get more mileage out of Pallet Town's theme, which if I have to be honest, I do like Pallet Town's theme is definitely one of my favorite, but Hoenn as a whole definitely exemplifies homeliness. Like you have the entire region and being so accommodating in spite of the harsh weather. And you have other characters like Wally, kind of being a symbol of you know homeliness. And Gen 4, I don't really know what Gen 4 exemplifies. You know what? No, I
think for Gen 4, honestly, I think it's like lore.
Yes,
like,
you know what?
With the you know literally like the time space like You know, like
Yeah.
legendaries. You have Arceus itself, although it's not really made a big thing at that time, like
Yeah.
during Gen 4.
Yeah,
Giratina, you have the Distortion World. And
you have like basically like we can say that at the Reggie trio and the Lake trio are counterparts, and which one actually plays a role in the story? The Lake trio.
Yeah, and you also have like those books like into the lore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have Cynthia like into the mythology.
Yeah, and Cynthia herself is an archaeologist.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I would actually say because of that, Gen 4 to me exemplifies complexity, where things are not always what it seems, and there's always stuff to be dug around, and either change our outlook on things, or whatnot, like learning about new things. And like to me that exemplifies complexity. It's kind of the opposite of Gen 1, where the only major piece of lore we have is the mysterious Mewtwo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, both Mew and Mewtwo, but the thing is, the fact that all this lore ties it, like for both the legendary trios, actually what's Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina? What their trio? What's their trio called?
The Creation Trio?
Yes, the Creation Trio.
Yeah.
With the Creation Trio and the Light Trio, they both play a part in the story. Whereas in Gen 3, only the Weather Trio actually play a part. The Reggie Trio, they're basically like Mewtwo and they represent Mewtwo and the legendary beasts in Johto. Like they're there, but they don't impact the story. Like they have lore to them, but you don't really necessarily have to learn about them. In Gen 4, they consistently tell you about these legendary Pokemon, like what they are and why they came to be and whatnot. And that complexity really does shine a light on how big Pokemon can get with its world building.
Yeah, and honestly, like in part because of nostalgia reasons, like Gen 4 / like Sinnoh is like my favorite because of it is in part blinded by like nostalgia, but I just as a kid I really loved like reading into like just random stuff like that, just like lore and like all that sort of thing. So it just made me like fall deep into it.
Yeah, for Gen 4 is definitely one of my favorite generations too, mostly because of the new evolutions. And I think Pokemon Platinum is just it's just a really great game in general. Not so much Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Yeah, not so much Diamond and Pearl. Diamond and Pearl are kind of It's really weird, but Platinum definitely improved upon Diamond and Pearl very well. Yeah, for Gen 5, you exemplifies truth and ideals, multiple perspectives, as we talked earlier. Gen 6 is a weird spot because in because the thing is we don't really spend a lot of time in Kalos.
Yeah,
it's sad.
But yeah, it is kind of sad. But one interesting thing I guess I could say about Gen 6 is it's almost like, and not to get it confused with Gen 2 because they're two different types of things, but it's almost like a type of like a sort of like, I'm blanking on the term for it, but almost like a change of some kind. Because you see like in XY they almost had like a sort of, it was almost like a new, they were sort of trying to bring back like old players with like mega evolutions.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, but and basically trying to appeal to them while also branching into something completely new.
Yeah, exactly. Like a new, like sort of like, again, not in the same way as Gen 2 at all, because that's like more like maturity, but like it's like an evolution of like Pokemon and everything that they were kind of like about, like going into the 3D sort of era. Mega evolution. Saying that at Gen 6 exemplifies evolution is one cliche, two way too easy, and three I definitely think there's a better term for it. I do as well. In all honesty, I would actually consider Gen 6 to exemplify nostalgia. Yeah, it's 'cause it's sort
and
of,
and
it's
and,
like-
it, and like and here's the thing, nostalgia definitely has a bad rep to it for a very good reason. People generally let nostalgia blind them of like from accepting something new.
Yeah.
But Gen 6 is an example of how you can and use that nostalgia like in a positive way. The thing with the thing with
Kalos
Kalos,
in a new way.
yeah, in a new way too. You're right. Yeah, thanks for that. The thing about Kalos is the fact that and this is something that I would definitely notice. It has a lot of Pokemon in it. It's basically a like I would actually say an overcorrection to what people didn't like about Black and White, where there were no previous generation Pokemon in the main game until the post game. Yeah, like it's
Even
kind of
Black
an.
White 2 halfway through tried to remedy that.
I think Black 2 and White 2 is a good balance, but Kalos was definitely an overcorrection to the point where Kalos not counting Mega Evolutions introduced the least number of Pokemon.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Kalos is an example of way of like how you can use nostalgia in a positive way, where not only are you giving people familiar things, but you're also giving them a lot of new things to play with that mesh together with the old stuff. Mega Evolution to be very specific, and a lot of new features too. Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of funny because I know you said, and I agree with you. Saying evolution is really cliche, but when you really think about it, in terms of like using nostalgia to make something new, it is like it definitely does kind of align with evolution.
It really does. It really does. But like I would still say nostalgia being Gen 6's identity obviously in a good way. And also one really good thing that came from Gen 6 too, the Pokemon Annie. Where like we're constantly being over the head with you know friendship between Pokemon, but aside from like the friendship side, we don't really get to like actually go hands on with you know treating our Pokemon on as you know really great companions or pets or whatnot to you know exemplify that bond. Where Gen 6 introduces that, and honestly I really can't think of Pokemon without that, especially with the Gen 6 anime kind of really showing Serena partaking in all those activities too.
Yeah, and I can't imagine a Pokemon game now where I can't feed, I can't like interact with my Giratina,
Yeah.
Pokepop.
Yeah, you can do that in Gen 8. That's the thing. They may have removed the Pokemon anime, but you can actually do that in Gen 8 too, like which is a really good thing.
I like that.
For Gen 7, as I said earlier, it exemplifies fun. Like it obviously Pokemon on battles are very much a sports like thing. Are very much a sports like thing, and you know Alola is a region that incorporates its culture and traditions into making a world where kids such as the main character or that we play as to be able to have fun with our Pokemon, have fun adventure battle with our Pokemon. Battle with our Pokemon and just be jolly like
I was actually gonna say family.
Oh yeah.
Family too, actually, yeah. But to me, Alola definitely exemplified fun more. If you're talking about the anime, it's both fun and family. But I feel like considering the fact that we have a lot of family themes in the Alola games, but the anime definitely exemplifies that more than the games, to me at least.
Yeah, fair enough. Because I hadn't really seen the Alola anime.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The thing is that like even in the games, you have family in regards to how Hala treats his his people in what was the name? I forgot I forgot Hala's island, but he treats his own
Akala
Island as a family.
Akala Island is Melee, that's right.
Akala is Olivia.
Yeah, Melee.
Melee, I think is the first one.
Yeah.
Melee, yes.
Yeah. It's Melee,
You have
Akala,
family
Ula
with
Ula.
that.
Yeah.
And then with Team Skull, they also have family there. Like,
Yeah.
Plumeria and
Guzma.
treat their own grunts as family.
Yeah, as like their little brothers and sisters, yeah. And obviously we have the Ether Foundation where it's basically run by family. Yeah. The thing is, the reason why I consider the anime exemplifying that more is because it actually it actually portrays it much better with Ash himself. Like yes, your main character has their mother, and you do visit her. She does get a lot of characterization.
Yeah.
But like with Ash, him like getting a new home in Alola with his new friends and rivals, and new Pokemon friends. It really does show you that Ash is very much welcome to Alola. And he's made quite the family here, in spite of the fact that despite the fact that his mother isn't actually there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that when you mention like it is like an obvious thing. There's a lot of family in Alola and in the games as well.
Yeah.
But it also just makes me think like damn, like so much of the game as you're exploring like just kind of has so many people that are just so close together, and the world feels so like interconnected, and with like all the people that that like you barely meet them, and you feel like you know them, like you're close to them already. You know what I mean? Like everyone just feels like they're so close. And, like,
Yeah.
Kukui in the beginning of the game, like it says like, "Hey cousin," like.
Yeah, and how welcoming he is to Lily as a lab assistant, even though he, like, it's likely that he doesn't even know her situation, and yet he's so accommodating to her. Yet he's so accommodating to her. We have everybody being so accommodating to Lily more than her own family. And I guess that's another part where we have How being so friendly with Lily and our main character, Gladion kind of being a faraway protector, like in spite of his weird ways. We also have Hapu, making her feel comfortable. And allowing her to get out of her own shell.
Yeah. I gotta say again, I just love Guzman and Team Skull. I love the.
They're great.
So
Yeah,
good. Family trope is just it gets me every time.
Yeah,
They've done so well with Guzman and Team Skull. I love it.
Yeah, it really is, especially in the anime. Like, I'm not saying it's bad in the games, but the anime really does a much better job at just hitting home. Like, why is it that Team Skull loves Guzma, and why Guzma is the way he is?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I just kind of look into it so deeply. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I will also say this. Sorry. You go.
I do want to say that I actually am curious on like how Guzma and Kukui used to have some type of relationship or some type of friendship.
Yeah.
We never really like disrupted that much.
Yeah. Like in the anime, we only really get to see him. Oh, they're apprentices of Holland. Like, that's literally it.
I guess because Guzma was on his like he originally tried to become like a what was it?
Yeah, he tried to do the trial.
Yeah, he
trial or whatever.
In the anime, he tried to become a captain. In the games, he tried to do the trial.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, both kind of like stirred him into the path of being the Guzma that he is, our boy.
Yeah, he might know Kukui from during that time, like earlier on, like he tried to,
I also want to say this. I also think it's a really interesting theme of the characters having a better relationship with the people that aren't their family. Lily and Gladion, obviously, and we have Hao, where it's not that Hala is bad to him or anything. Hala just wants the best for Hao, and that's why he's kind of hard on him. But because of that, like we can get the feeling that how is only smiles because it's to shake out the pain of maybe not being able to live up to his grandfather's expectations, and makes it through by by making the new friend his new friends along the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just really cool to me. Along with Guzma, actually, which you were saying.
I just love Guzma to death. Like, I really appreciate having a character in. I feel like a lot of Pokemon games that conventionally like a bad character, they're actually bad. You know what I mean? Whereas with Guzma, it's not really someone who's a bad person per se. Like like Guzma, like. He's
a rebel. He's not evil.
Yeah.
He's just a rebel. Nothing exemplifies that more than episode Rainbow Rocket.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I really appreciate having that type of character where like we've had somewhat similar characters like that before in the Pokemon games, but not in that role. Like Guzma. And it's done so well, and even just in the games, where usually in the games, like to be fair, in the games with a lot of these characters, you kind of have to infer quite a bit sometimes, because as much as they give you, sometimes there's a lot that you kind of just have to fill in. Whereas with Guzma, like even with the little things they give you, like back in like his parents like home, stuff like that, and all these little things, it just kind of like everything just sort of fills it in just well enough that it just. Everything goes together so well that I don't know. Like I can imagine how he what made him that way. I can imagine like what makes him put this sort of like almost like a front and of like his intimidating sort of like behavior and demeanor and like how much he actually cares about the people around him. I just love it.
Yeah, and like once again, Guzma is one of the examples of him having a relationship with basically everybody else but his parents. Yeah. So yeah, that's that truly is a really interesting dichotomy to look at, and as you said, just a lot of stuff we infer with the little stuff that we get, we can infer a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff, and it really plays into like how we can see these characters.
Exactly.
And then Gen 8. This might sound weird to a lot of people, but I consider Gen 8 to exemplify ambition.
No, I can see that. For sure, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I was gonna say legacy.
That too, actually, that's really good. Yeah, but to me, it exemplifies ambition. It exemplifies like how much Pokemon battles can, like how far Pokemon battles can be taken. Like with the introduction of Dynamax and Gigantamax and stadium battles, and just the league tournament style that we've only really got in the main game once before with the Pokemon World Tournament.
And we needed Galar in that respect, because we needed Gen 8 because like that sort of thing in the Pokemon world, like it's inevitable, but we hadn't fully quite seen something like that fleshed out yet.
The thing is with Gen 7, it wouldn't have worked in Gen 7 because of like the style that Alola is, but with Gen 8 it absolutely worked because they have a much bigger focus on Pokemon on battles as a sport and as a leisure rather than as a hobby or a passion.
Right, yeah, like you have like Leon, like the champion, who's like a celebrity because like Diantha was a celebrity,
but for a completely different reason. Yeah,
a completely different reason. And Leon's like the first champion that we get that's like a celebrity
because
he's a champion.
Yeah, as he says, it's champion time.
Yeah, right. I don't know why it's so funny. It's just I'm just thinking of how the Masters community thinks of Leon and just memes on Leon.
I mean, DNA rolls with it. DNA rolls with it. We had a scene in one of the recent events where Grimsey invites a bunch of sync pairs to help a group of trainers who are struggling, and we have a Signature Elisa, I think we had Phoebe, we had Hao, and then we just get Leon coming out from the ocean.
Yeah, I saw a meme
Oh, I
that
got
was
lost.
really funny.
Yeah, they totally
I
roll
ended up
it.
in the ocean, but here I am now. It's
Yeah.
champion time now.
Yeah, dude, you literally just came out from the ocean. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got lost. They rolled with it. It's like they rolled with it.
For sure.
Yeah.
At this point, they're gonna make Leon being lost the same bit as how Team Rocket blasts off in the Alolan saga with Beware. Like,
Yeah.
literally every time Leon gets lost, it's gonna be something even more insane than that.
Yeah. I don't think it ever got more insane than Beware using Surf and Fly to catch Team Rocket.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Wait,
There's been, there was another one that was like really off the walls, crazy.
Wait,
I can't remember which one it was.
okay, but yeah, okay. You were saying.
check the chat. I posted something. It's just some dumb like Leon meme. Just I don't know. It's just
It's sorry to keep you waiting, everyone. I got lost. Like, my God, why would you do this? Why would you do this? Like this is for context. This is from Penguins of Madagascar 2, I think. No, not Penguins from Madagascar. Just Madagascar, yeah. It's from Madagascar 2, and like what was this character's name? Rodomodo. But yeah, like, where he like comes out the water, it's just Leon's caption.
Dialogue. It's like Leon. It's like Leon. Sorry to keep you waiting, everyone. I got lost on my way here. Now it's champion time. Leon, did you just come out of the ocean?
Yeah. Like, that's literally Elisa's reaction to that.
Yeah, and I love Leon because it just feels like with the way they handle Leon, it's just into his character that he could just be doing anything and just be Leon and it would work.
Yeah, he's just charming like that. Like he truly is charming. Like I get why people don't like him, and I accept that. It's just that when people like compare Cynthia favorably to him because of several reasons. I really don't like that because to me, I think Cynthia is a better character, but Leon definitely had a better arc. Like no question. I can't even say that Cynthia even had an arc. I like Cynthia better, but Leon actually has an arc. Yeah.
Agreed. And also I want to say like I understand. I very much so understand. Not liking. And this is totally fair. If you don't like a character because of their personality, it's just like not your preference.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's your preference.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I totally understand, especially for example, like in someone like Leon's case. I understand, for example, like not liking them as a person, but I like I can understand finding like imagine Leon as a real person, and you're like, it's not really my kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't really like celebrities like that. Like we have people like that in real life.
We definitely do, yeah.
But as a character, I like him. You know, not a ton. Like I absolutely adore him, but I really like him.
Yeah, that's basically why people don't like it. It's like they really don't like his character because of the kind of thing that he represents, being a celebrity in sports and what, or celebrities in general, and and maybe just as being like super milk toast and like just like his whole personality is just based off him being that one kind of celebrity, along with what a lot of people consider to be a stupid catchphrase, which I totally get. Excuse me. I wouldn't say we need. Okay. So. Okay. Yeah. Yes. As the celebrity kind of champion, I definitely do think we needed it. Especially because they literally did nothing with Diantha in Gen 6.
Yeah.
Like Leon, he's like basically like a lot of Gen 8 exemplifies ambition to me, like the ambition of like taking Pokemon battles to the extreme, and not in like extreme sports kind of way, like not like that, but just taking it to its next logical limit. We like I said, stadium battles, Dynamax, whatnot, crowds cheering for you. You can say that it's implied that the gym leader theme is actually the crowd cheering.
Yeah. And I like that a lot.
Yeah, and other sorts of ambition, and there being new features being added in Sword and Shield like as games themselves, not like in universe, but like as games themselves. And this is where where I think I'm gonna get a lot of flack for saying that it exemplifies ambition because of the controversial national decks or lack thereof. And while I don't disagree, at the same time, goes, I don't really mind that not all Pokemon are in Pokemon Sword and Shield, as is, and also the fact that. Because I think it's a necessary evil, at least in my opinion, and also the fact that I think a lot of the new features, the new stuff that they introduce in the Galar region of it shows ambition far more than a lack thereof with the lack of the national decks.
Yeah, and I will also admit, like as somebody who did want the national decks, I also understand, regardless of whether I
Yeah.
I would prefer everything in there. I understand it, and I will admit this at the very least. It didn't bother me as much as I thought it would over time. So I can definitely admit that.
The thing is, as a person who kind of like follows the mantra of gotta catch 'em all very seriously, I'm not joking. I caught every single Pokemon in Gen 3 and transferred it into an Emerald file without using cheats. Only I think at most I used fast forward, and that was it.
Yeah.
I did all that legitimately. Or as legitimate as you can with the context I gave. I for one am not at all bothered by it. For one thing, if I do get to play Sword and Shield, I won't have as bad of a time as I did with Kalos.
Yeah. I think Gen 6 and 7 is I did like pretty much like catch everything. But you know why? The reason why, and this is actually gonna be like, this is a reason I'm biased in favor of like national decks and stuff like that. Is because especially like the gen before and so on, like I'm really into like battling, and lately I haven't been as much into battling, whatever. But one of the reasons I love Pokemon and battling in general is because I love to see the new interactions between every Pokemon and the new changes that come along and how well they handle them and how everything fits together well, and like even just like Pokemon that people say like, oh, who would care about like Noon? Who would care about whatever? Like,
who would care about Dunsparce?
I like to see those Pokemon, even the ones that like I don't give too much thought outside of everything else. I like to see them in their own little vacuum and see like, oh, what's changed for them? I would like to use them and like to, battle versus them with different Pokemon. I love to see all those little interactions, the thousands and thousands of interactions. So for me, as somebody who like, that's one of my biggest loves about Pokemon. It is a bit of a hit to lose that,
It really is because you're losing a lot of combinations that you could have with the lack of national decks, and I totally get that. In fact, my favorite Pokemon, Greninja, was cut from the national decks in Sword and Shield, but I'm not bothered by that. Because I understand like why it's like that. There are limitations along with the fact that I really don't think at a certain point I really don't think a national dex is really necessary. Like it really isn't like because why. Maybe you could make a case of well at the very least make it a post game, make it a post game thing. We like let the people who want it like have it and make it not obtrusive in the main game. And I get that,
that's kind of my thing. It's not necessarily like I actually loved Gen 5, right? And people say, oh, how can you like that? Because Gen 5, like, it was, like, limiting in this way, where it's sort of, like, especially the first games, which just made you play with, like...
But that's exactly what Gen 5 I did, but that's exactly what Gen 5 I did, where it gave you a national dex in the post game, and, let you roll with it.
So, because my thing isn't necessarily being, forced to play with, like, to Pokemon, because that's not actually necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing just to be able to experience like new Pokemon and
Yeah, and in fact, saying that it's limiting is very much exaggerated. Just because you don't have access to old Pokemon doesn't mean it's limiting. Diamond and Pearl were limiting. Black and White were free.
For sure, yeah. But like my only thing is just that like I want to be able to have the option, especially for like post game. So it's not in main game can have like everything removed and all that, and I'm not 100% fine. My only thing about the national decks like cut whatever is not the lack of Pokemon within the like within sort of like you could say like the base game. It's just kind of like after that. Like I don't want to have that limitation. Again, not to say limitation in that respect, but you know what I mean. Like I want to have that option to be able to play with them like in post game. And
that's definitely where Sword and Shield takes a hit, especially in the competitive scene. But like I said, after a certain point, it really wasn't necessary, and I think this was a good step forward. But yeah, I'm not talking about why I think I'll get flack for saying it's ambition. But yeah, like and like the characters in Sword and Shield themselves they exemplify this idea of ambition too. Leon, like you know, he aimed to be the strongest Pokemon trainer ever, and you know he achieved it, and he aims to continue that role. And he also stirs up ambition within his brother and us to become stronger and beat him, and become champion too. Hob is to me a better version of How in terms of the fact that his struggles are more pronounced, and later learns that his ambitions can be different from what he initially set out to do.
Yeah, he doesn't have to like it's tying into legacy almost. Like he doesn't have to kind of live in the chase off the sort of the shadow of his brother, you know, just because his brother's the champion. Like he has to live up to that, but it's really you can also say that you can do the same thing as I do, just in a different way. And all that, and stuff like Marnie and Pierce. I was almost thinking of their Japanese names, which actually I remember Marnie's Japanese name is Mary, but I actually forgot Pierce's Japanese name, which is embarrassing. But anyways, Marnie and Pierce they have an ambition to revive what was this thing again? Spikemuth, I think.
Okay, it's Spikemuth City, which I'm not just realizing in Japanese, Spikemuth City is Spike Town, which it turns from town to city, which it's a bit weird, but yeah, they have an ambition to revive Spikemuth City, and you know they do it in different ways. Pierce is a very powerful gym leader whose gimmick is that he doesn't use Dynamax, nor does he allow the opponent to use Dynamax. While Marnie, she participates in the Pokemon League challenge in order to show, hey, we have strong trainers in Spikemuth City.
And,
I don't think it's more so the fact that he doesn't allow people to Dynamax. It's more so the fact that he can't Dynamax in the first place.
I get like but I guess I was saying that in kind of a gameplay sense. Yeah.
I think he didn't want to use Dynamax.
He doesn't like he actually likes the fact that Spikemuth City doesn't have a power spot because he personally doesn't like Dynamax battles.
Yeah.
And the ambition of you know constantly going even though you don't have the advantage of Dynamax, that too can be considered ambition.
Yes, is a single battler. That's the real reason why he's against
You also have other characters like Reinhardt who has an ambition to your rival Leon and to continuously rival Leon, and Cirque. You have Nessa who has an ambition of continuously being a model while also being a gym leader. You have Sonia who like Hop discovered that her true ambition is to become a researcher. And
I gotta say, it's such a bait. Remember when everyone would like saw Magnolia as like the professor of Gen 8? I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And it turns out that like, and again, I like that Sonya like was able to take over. That's an interesting, new sort of take on like the professor thing. But man, it was such a bait. I can't believe like so much of us all thought like Magnolia was gonna be like the professor, but she just completely.
To be fair, she had the same tree pun or onomatopoeia where like every professor had like a tree name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Sonya have one? Like, does Sonya have?
Magnolia.
Yeah, but like he's thinking like does Sonya still have some kind of like link to it?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see. Maybe there's something.
But yeah. Oh, also, I want to point out that Sonya actually when Sonya was revealed, apparently fan art of her was so rampant that she actually trended above the cover legendaries.
Yeah.
Here's something interesting. So there is a flower called Sonia, but there's one in particular called the Crown of Thorns Sonia.
Interesting.
So Crown Tundra.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Then we have the other side of the coin where we see twisted ambition. The very loud example would be Team Yell, where their ambition is to help Marnie and Pierce revive Spikemuth City, but in a very twisted way. Almost you can almost say kind of like gaslighting people into not even going to Spikemuth City because of that.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, I do like how they sort of even though I think maybe that they could have, there's a couple things I think they could have maybe explored or gone into a bit more in Gen 8 to like really make certain themes like stand out better on certain character arcs. But I do really appreciate like the angles that they sort of took with like Marnie Piers and Spikemuth Town and like a Hop's character arc and like all these little things they tried differently,
Yeah, it's really cool. Like I said, I consider Hop to have a better character than How. They're both very similar in characters, but how they break and how they move on from it are very different. And I just think Hop is a better example of like how that works, how that can work better. Team Yell's twisted ambition to help Marnie and Pierce revive Spikemuth Town, Spikemuth City. Actually, it's a town or city. Never mind that. But yeah, their twisted ambitions in helping Marnie and Pierce, which was really hilarious in the anime where they tell Ash, oh hey the battle's not gonna be in the battle's not gonna be in the stadium, but it's gonna be in our home turf, Spikemuth City, and then they go there and then whoops, our bad. Like I actually thought that was really funny, but yeah, but yeah, like I get that, and then we have the actual main villain of this game, Chairman Rose, and his twisted ambition, to save Galar from an energy crisis, trying to reenact the Darkest Day. And it actually goes really deep, because not only did he engineer all of this involving Eternatus with Oleana, but we know that Chairman Rose was Leon's coach. He was his trainer, so to speak. He was Leon's coach. He tutored Leon, and And the thing is, he was trying to groom Leon into being the hero that champion that not champion, sorry, that Galar needed. Like the hero of the sword and shield to be able to team up with Zacian and Zamazenta. And he tried to groom Leon to be that hero, so that he could enact his plans for the darkest state perfectly. Unfortunately, Leon himself, he knows he knows the extent of ambition. He knows that where that path is leading is not a good one. So he turns against Chairman Rose, in spite of the fact that Chairman Rose was basically his father figure. And I just think that's really cool. That's really cool for Leon. Yeah, and
Speaking of father figure, Bede and Rose.
right, yeah, Bede is another. Bede is another example of twisted ambition. That's a really good one. But yeah, with that said, we also kind of get like bookends with both Hop and Leon, with the fact that they both end the game kind of straying away from their original path, where Hop was originally gonna trade to become the strongest champion, just like his brother, but then decides that he wants to become researcher, while Leon decides that he doesn't want to be champion anymore if being champion has kind of inadvertently made him ignore so many of Galar's problems, like where it really does show that it really does show that while he agrees with Chairman Rose, he doesn't agree with his methods, and that ambition to do better than Chairman Rose and do stuff like this his own way. That only he can do. That in itself is another form of ambition, and yeah, I just think Gen 8 really exemplifies ambition very well.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, I can very easily say that we all love each and every Pokemon game in its own way, except for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I'm kidding about that.
I love Gen 4.
No. Okay, no. I love Platinum. I don't like Diamond and Pearl. I like Platinum.
Yeah, I still love Diamond because of nostalgia and other things. But yes, Platinum is much better than.
Yeah, it's so much better. Really.
Yeah.
It really, like, I feel like my experience with Sinnoh has been soiled because of the fact that I played Diamond recently. It really wasn't fun. But oh well. So yeah. With that said, like, Pokemon on Platinum is definitely like the definitive version. Excuse me. The definitive version for Gen 4 and Sinnoh. Like, had I not played Pokemon Diamond, Sinnoh would probably be like still like a very neck to neck with Alola as being my favorite region. But I feel like with that, like, I can safely say that Alola and the Gen 7 games are definitely my favorite.
Yeah. My favorite gens probably. Oh wait, sorry, my Discord's being a bit weird.
Mhm.
My favorites are Gen 4, 5, and 7. Those are my top 3.
4, 5, and 7, yeah. It's same for me. Like, I want to like Kalos more because I love the Pokemon X1 anime, and I still do love Kalos. It's just the fact that, because of its treatment by Pokemon itself, it's like, yeah, no, we don't really get too much of it.
It's just funny because because stuff like, for example, you could say, and again, I will clarify what I mean in a second, but like Gen 6 and 8 both had things that like could have been even better had they been given more. But the difference is Gen 8 already had good things. You know, and Kalos did have good things as well.
Yeah.
At least Gen 8 had enough of a foundation where it's like, oh, okay, well, even though things could have been better, I'm still happy with what we got. Whereas Gen 6 had, again, some things that were nice, but
yeah, I feel like
missing, you know?
yeah, there's definitely a lot of things missing, and I feel like, and weirdly enough, I feel like in spite of the fact that we obviously feel this completeness with Gen 8 because of the DLC. In spite of that, I feel like Base Sword and Shield gave us much more than Gen 6 did with Kalos, which is like a very unfortunate thing, because like Kalos, I love the environment, I definitely do have much more of a love for it than I probably should because of the anime, but it's like following the adventurers into Kalos like that with Ash and his companions. It really does make me think. Yeah, I really want a lot more out of Kalos. Like there were just so many interesting things about it, like that I feel like we never really got to. We never really got to.
It could have been amazing had like those things been filled, because like also like those things, it's like it gives more of a sense of like that there's something missing.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like
other things, it's like an icing on the cake. You know?
Yeah, it's really weird. I feel like Crown Tundra was more icing on the cake rather than patching holes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like and X and Y definitely required the whole patching that it never got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but I'm still happy with some things we got. But you know.
Yeah, definitely. I will say I think it's definitely a no-brainer to say that Johto is my least favorite region and Kanto being my second least favorite. Not that they're bad. If I have to be honest, I would actually consider Johto to be the only bad region, but I'll explain why later. The reason why Kanto is that low is
I kind of know, and I kind of agree.
Yeah. It's like for Kanto, the reason why it's down there, it isn't because it's bad or anything. It's just the other regions just give so much more, and as I said, a Gen 1 exemplified simplicity, and that basically means Kanto is just a very simple region, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but because of how much more the other regions give us, it does really fall flat when you compare the regions. Doesn't mean it's a bad region though. It's still really good for what it is. But Johto
It's
is
really hard to compete as the first game, understandably.
But Johto, like, falls into a really weird hole where it's like it just feels like a subset of Kanto, which is unfortunate for a completely different region.
Yeah.
Johto is very synonymous with Kanto because all the games with Johto in it have Kanto in it, and we get to travel Kanto. Yeah, and I think that while that elevates the games, that like kind of brings Johto down because limitations and whatnot. It makes Johto smaller than all of the other regions. It makes.
I think it's fair to love Johto because everyone has preferences.
Yeah,
but it's sometimes funny. Sometimes like when people say why like Gen 2 is like the best and all that, they point to Kanto.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate because I want Johto to be a good region like in and of itself because no region deserves to get such a shaft like Johto. Unfortunately, to the might as well just be a subset of Kanto. In fact, it would probably be better as a subset of Kanto because it would probably be better as a subset of Kanto because it just means that it's not a region getting that kind of shaft.
Yeah, what I can give Johto though, for me personally, I think aesthetic. I do think it gets points for aesthetic for me personally. That's pretty good. I think.
Like honestly for aesthetic, the only thing I could really point to is the fact that the music and atmosphere is very similar to Hoenn's homeliness, though not to the extent. I think Goldenrod City. I think Goldenrod City is a great example. I think Goldenrod City.
I like Ekritique though. I like Ekritique.
Ekritique is really good, but I think Goldenrod City is like it's probably my favorite populated area, like the most populated area. Like each game has that. Like each game has like Saffron, Goldenrod. I forget at the name in Hoenn, but it's the one between Winona and Tate and Liza. Gen 4 had what's Fantina's gym again?
Oh, Heart Home City.
Heart Home, yeah. Heart Home, or you could argue Veilstone, or what's the second town? Why do I keep blanking on names?
Jubilee.
Jubilee,
I think
yeah.
is the big one. Jubilee, I think is the big
No,
one.
no, the big one is definitely Veilstone. The Veilstone and Heart Home. But
I get that. But at the same time, Veilstone has like a department set out and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But at the same time,
Ju-
size-wise, it
Oh right, you're
is
actually
it
right.
Veilstone? Because Jubilee I know Jubilee is like, it doesn't have the department center and stuff like that. But I
No,
think
wait,
Jubilee
you're right.
wide.
Jubilee is actually much bigger than I thought it was. Yeah, dang, you're
It
right.
is bigger, but in that sense, it does kind of make you think like there's almost like multiple sort of. It's almost like it's split.
Yeah.
The big city with the department store and that sort of, it's sort of like split into.
So especially when you consider like Gen 5 had both Nimbasa and Castilia.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is something else.
But yeah, like Goldenrod I think is my favorite. I do love like the busyness of a Castelia because that's kind of hard to beat. But honestly, for the feel that Goldenrod gives, especially because of the music, I kind of think Goldenrod is my favorite like highly populated city. So I'll at least give Johto that.
Yeah, Castilia kind of goes all in on the sort of crowded big city kind of vibe, whereas like Goldenrod has a good balance of like the big city, but also kind of like a casual kind of, you can chill around, like go, like do your thing, like it's it's nothing.
And Nimbasa really goes in on the like really
sort of sports.
Kind of like what you see in a more populated, like a more attractive populated city, you can say.
Yeah, like it's that kind of big city where like you cross, like there's the battle subway there, right?
Yeah, the battle subway. We have the Ferris wheel. We have Elise Model Show. All that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely much like that kind of city. Like
yeah, it's very attraction based.
Yeah.
But Goldenrod. Yeah, surprisingly enough, I actually really love Goldenrod. And I think a small part of it, ironically, is because of Whitney.
I was gonna say it has Whitney too.
Yeah, like a small part of it is actually because of Whitney. Weirdly enough, because like yes, sir, yes, like I know a lot of people really hate her because of her battle, but I actually personally really like it. Like it shows the might of the normal attack. Like what more could you want?
Exactly. Yeah. You know Joey Pokeyam?
What?
Do you know Pokeyam? Pokeyam is a YouTuber. Oh, you don't know him?
No, Pokemon 7, right?
Oh no, Pokeyam.
Pokeyam.
So Pokeyam MD. Okay, he loves Whitney, so he.
Oh, okay. You also have M and JTB who absolutely hates her. So. Yeah. But yeah, like a small part of a small part of why I really like Golden City is because of Whitney, because her gym battle was actually genuinely fun for me. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Modern Chain definitely vary on that, so I'm not gonna harp on it. But yeah, like and I think the biggest thing with Johto is the fact that it doesn't even have its own league.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, the anime actually gave more respect to Johto than the games did.
True.
Yeah, because
it's kind of funny, but yeah.
Yeah, because like for Johto, they actually had their own Johto league rather than just us using the Indigo League again.
To be fair, Johto in some ways also kind of suffers from similar things where it's like it in some ways needed more, but the difference with Johto was that rather than needing more like as like sort of like, oh, this thing could like is miss, it's sort of like they sort of cut themselves short.
Right. It's more intentionally made like that rather than feeling half baked.
Yeah, which is why it feels more kind of just like disappointing in like I wish that they like a different kind of disappointing compared to like I don't know
Kalos. Yeah.
It felt like they actually were just like maybe if they, you know, it just felt like it was actually missing, like just straight up like unfortunately, like, oh, they kind of just, they didn't maybe necessarily want to cut it short because it felt like there was more that they wanted to go into, you know, in a way.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
just- it just didn't.
for Kalos, right?
Yeah, for Callus.
Yeah.
But like Johto, it's just like it just seemed like they cut themselves
They,
short. Like,
yeah,
just sort of-
it was very intentional to it was very intentional that they made it short because they want to add Kanto, which I will say it is, it's not a bad addition, but since Johto suffers from it, like it kind of like splits me in a way. I definitely love it. I can't really imagine Gens 2 and 4 and the Gen 4 remakes, the Gen 2 games and Gen 2 remakes, to not have Kanto. Like I really can't. But because of the fact that Johto suffers in you can say a lot of things, aesthetic, feel, style. Because of that, yeah. Really, when I say Gen 2 exemplifies maturity, it really only applies to Kanto, which is another thing. Like if what your game is best known for is not even the main game but the post game, and not in the sense that, oh, the post game has very good extra content, like let's say the super bosses in Kingdom Hearts, or I'm trying to think of other video game franchises, but I basically can't because I've just been grinding away at Kingdom Hearts lately, but yeah, like that, like it's like those are neat additions, like, and people will talk about that because they're awesome. But when people only talk about the fact that you get to go to Kanto as if that's part of the main game, you can kind of see where the problem lies.
Also, wait, is Mount Silver Kanto or Johto? Is it in the middle?
Oh, it's either the middle or actually Kanto. Let me check.
That's tough. I remember like around that area they said it was close to the middle, but I don't know if Mount Silver itself is Kanto or Johto.
I believe it's Kanto.
Yeah. See, now that's another thing.
Like it's like in between them. But that's what I find that kind of interesting. But like yeah, like battling yourself.
Yeah, actually, technically, yeah, it is actually closer. Wait, no. Actually, no, it's actually right in the middle. It's smack dab in the middle. The Pokemon League is actually closer to Kanto, but Mount Silver is smack dab in the middle. And it's actually considered Johto. It's actually considered Johto. Okay, that's good.
Okay, but you definitely go through the Kanto side of like
yeah.
going into
You go to
like, the
Kanto
is
too.
Kanto, so
yeah.
like yeah. But it is kind of interesting is that I do like appreciate the idea of like battling yourself,
Mhm.
you know, as like a really cool concept of like as like the strongest trainer.
Yeah. Well, once again, tying into the theme of maturity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I just read what. Sorry, I just saw something. I read. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So apparently in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, if you split the map, if you split the map by if you split the map with how the Pokegear identifies Kanto or Johto, technically Mount Silver would be in Kanto, but it's still but the Pokegear still registers it as Johto.
Yeah.
But apparently that wasn't the case in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, where Mount Silver was actually like north, like exactly north of New Barktown. So, yeah.
Sorry, I just read something about what Linkable said in Main Plaza.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just,
Let me actually see. Oh yeah, I learned about that earlier. Actually.
I just saw that now.
Yeah, yeah, it's really morbid. Not gonna talk about it. It's really morbid, but yeah. Yeah, if you like look at the date, you might know what it is, but oh well.
Anyway.
So yeah, either way, yeah, I'm definitely sad that both Johto and Kalos got the shaft, but at the very least, Kalos, I will say I still really love as a region in spite of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Mm.
I think there's definitely a lot. I think every region has its charms in a way, you know.
Yeah,
regardless
it
of
definitely
region.
It definitely is. Even Johto for how short it is, it still has its own charm. Kind of like
I also
New
sort of
Adventure stuff.
understand too,
Mm.
in Johto's case, because like, it. I mean, as much as like Johto fans sometimes might not like to hear it, I don't mean it as like a necessarily like a jab or anything, but like, and I do like Johto actually a lot for like certain things, you know. But it is actually kind of like Kanto too, because
Yeah.
Kanto like didn't get to have like they wanted to have a lot more Pokemon in it, for example, and like a lot of the Johto mons are literally what was like meant to be in Kanto. So
Yeah.
Johto is almost used as like a vehicle for introducing a lot of these things that they wanted to
Yeah,
have.
more so like it feels like an extension of Kanto rather than its own region, which once again I really don't like. Like if you had just said that Johto was a subset of Kanto, that would actually make it better for me because it's actually meant to be an extension of Kanto, but with it being a whole new region, you kind of have to feel bad for Johto for losing so much because it's associated so much with Kanto. Like Link, you know the soup. Like in the anime, the Masters 8, we have one representative for both Kanto and Johto. Like
Yep.
Basically Lance, he represents both Kanto and Johto. He's specifically said to be the champion of both Kanto and Johto. So it once again, it's like it feels very yeah. It just feels like Johto always gets a short order in the sick in favor of Kanto, and in pretty favored games too. It's a like and that's sad. Like Hardcore and Soul Silver are very much loved, and yet I don't really think a lot of it is because Johto it's because Johto itself is loved. You know?
Yeah.
You know, which yeah.
I think the biggest thing is because Blue, the past, or Gary, I guess, would have been the Kanto representative, but even then, he's actually searching for Mew. So
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I believe that Lance being the representative for Kanto and Johto makes more sense.
Yeah.
In that aspect.
Yeah, it really does. Or you could just have a Lance be the representative for Johto and have somebody else be for Kanto, but then again, a lot of people want to see Elaine back, so you know. At this point we still haven't gotten like we still haven't gotten an actual interaction between him and Ash after he lost to Leon, but either way. But either way, I'm still optimistic that Elaine will get his own focus episode. I'm optimistic about that, but cautiously, but I'm optimistic about that. Either way, I think this is it. It's been fun. We did Pikachu solo run, yay, and we talked about why we love Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of things to love about Pokemon.
Yeah, there's definitely something in there for a lot of people, and yeah, some what we talked about could be very profound for some people and totally useless for others. But you know, we all enjoy stuff our own ways, and I think we all should both be happy and respect that.
For sure.
Yeah.
And actually, one quick thing I just found what it was that I wanted to find. For Johto. So here are some Johto Pokemon. I'll quickly go through them. Some Johto Pokemon that were actually meant to be in Kanto, and they're inside of I believe Red Blue Yellow's code.
Right. I think Ho is actually one of them. I think.
Yeah. There's actually a bunch. I'll try to skip through. So there's Sizzle, Shuckle, Heracross, Ho-Oh, Sneasel, Teddiursa, Ursaring, Slugmaline, Swinub, Piloswine, Delibird, Corsola, Remoraid, Auxiliary Line, Mantine, Skarmory, Houndour, Line, Kingdra, Phanpy Line, Porygon 2, Stantless, Smeagol, Tyrogue Line, or Hitmontop, all that, Babymons, Blissey, Raikou, Entei, Suicune, Larvitar Line, and then Lugia, and I believe Ho-Oh. Like, that's a lot of Pokemon.
That is a lot of Pokemon, yeah.
That was meant to be in Kanto, so.
I mean, it kind of makes sense with the fact that Ho actually did appear in the first episode of the anime.
Yeah.
From what I recall, it was mostly because of the fact that they were trying to get as many Pokemon as they could in the first generation, but due to memory space, you could not do that, so they had to make Gold and Silver.
Yeah, which it makes sense.
Heracross.
Yeah, Heracross, which is interesting. Like for example, the thing is how you would get these Pokemon is just glitching to get Missing No, and then transfer it to Johto, and I don't know like how it works for each individual Pokemon. Like do the Missing No's themselves have like an individual value? I don't know, but that's basically that's basically like what happens if you transfer a Missing No to Johto. You get a Johto Pokemon. Yeah, that is how it works. Yeah.
I can't imagine Tyranitar in Gen 1. Oh my god.
Tyranitar would be kind of bad because Dark type wouldn't exist at that time.
It wouldn't exist.
It really
but,
wouldn't.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tyranitar stats are pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy, but like a large reason why it's good is because of its Dark typing. Anyway, well, actually, Gen 4 onwards.
The best rock types. I'm not. Of course, it's a Dark type still, but like the best rock types in Gen 1, you have like Rhydon and sort of Golem, but like Rhydon.
And
even though it
Kabutops,
doesn't have Stab Earth,
Aerodactyl.
it doesn't have Stab Earth. Yeah, Aerodactyl kind of like struggles with a couple things in earlier gens. But still, yeah, it's solid.
But yeah. Well, that's an interesting to talk about. Interesting thing to talk about. But yeah. We're done with this. This stream went on for a lot longer than I expected, and you know what? That's very much a good thing. We did get to express why we love Pokemon, and why I did this challenge, because I love Pokemon, and I love Unova, I love Pikachu, so why not? I'm thinking of doing more challenges like this in the future, if I can, but likely not. Who knows? I'll think of something. But yeah. That should be it. That is the finale to my Pikachu solo run. Thank you, Ron and Link, for being here for more support, and also definitely helping me through a lot of this, especially the Elite Four.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could help at least.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here. It was a cool experience.
Yeah. Really great having you guys here. So yeah, I might start something new. I gotta discuss it with you guys with something new about Pokemon related starting next week. But yeah, for now that is it. Cheddar has officially saved the Unova region, and we shall all revere him as the perfect successor to Zekrom. Yeah.
He may as well be the original dragon. Not even just Zekrom, it's the original dragon. Pikachu has officially become the savior of Unova. Ironic, I know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this journey with the Pokemon that I love near and dear. Yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.